She's a conservative commentator who made headlines this week for a very public feud with rapper Cardi B. Candace Owens, thank you for joining us. Sounds like this all started after your interview on the Ben Shapiro show. Can you walk us through what went down?
Sure. Ben Shapiro and I were really just having an honest conversation about the state of politics on the left and a lot of the pandering that goes on. And in particular, we were discussing the fact that Joe Biden, after virtually a year of hiding in his basement, decided to come up for air and do an interview about Black America with Cardi B, an artist who has a #1 song that's extremely vulgar about her female genitalia. And the interview was nothing short of an absolute joke. You know, she was making noises. She had extremely long nails on, and she was basically just reading off what sounded like a dream list to Santa of things that she wanted that were in direct contradiction with one another. And I called this out as being insulting to Black America, that they would platform such ignorance, like they couldn't find somebody with deeper intellect. Well, whether that was a Black individual on the left or the right, you know, the Black America has a lot more to offer than Cardi B when it comes to politics. The Democrats don't care about that. They're all about pandering. They're all about figuring out who has the most followers, despite how vulgar, how trashy their music can be, no matter how much that music is actually harming the culture of Black America and the fabric of our values. And she freaked out on Twitter and started really just saying more vulgar things, and said a lot of obscenities, a lot of pointedly racist things towards my husband, who happens to be white. And you know, I took her for what she was worth, and correctly corrected her on a lot of the things she was saying that were wrong about Trump, wrong about conservatives. And I did it with class. I didn't need to get down to her level, but she had a pretty big meltdown about it, and it was quite funny.
You know, and she did. At one point she tweeted, and I think we have the tweet, that basically calling you out, saying that President Trump, you're right, I have the #1 song, I have a huge platform that can make millions. Go vote to get the man that used you. And she highlighted that in capitals, meaning President Trump used you. I mean, how does it feel being a Black woman, hearing another Black woman suggesting that you're being used by the president?
It's pointedly ridiculous for a lot of reasons. And this is sort of the caricature that's out about me in the media, like I'm being paid by Trump, or I'm being paid by the RNC, or paid by Fox News. I've never accepted a single check from any of those people. I'm an individual. I run my own organization. And I do support the president because I believe he represents a rare moment of opportunity for Black America to wake up to this leftist narrative, to wake up to the pandering of the left, because he has the spine to stand up and to stand firm against the libel and smears of him being a racist. And I've laid out my arguments for supporting Trump, and it has nothing to do with him using me.
I'd like to jump in here. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'd just like to point out that Joe Biden gave Cardi B an interview. We've been asking Joe Biden or a representative for the better part of 4 months to come on the show. We don't even get a call back yet. He sits down with a rapper. Look, I get it. You want to cater to Hollywood, and you want the left to love you, but this woman, Cardi B, is pretty, as you point out, pretty vulgar. Is this what we want our president to be, I don't know, aspiring to, or having our children aspire to?
And the answer is no. And, you know, any person can look up her #1 trending song. It's way too despicable for us to mention what the lyrics are on air, you know, and there's a dance that goes to it. And if you go on the internet, there's a lot of young 12-year-old, 13-year-old girls doing this dance, talking about how, you know, good or great their female genitalia is and what they can do for men. You know, this is prostitution turned into, you know, some form of deteriorated art. And look, I'm an unapologetic free market capitalist. If there's a market for it and people are buying it, you know, more kudos to Cardi B. It's not my business. My children won't listen to that. But at the same time, we should be able to objectively say that this woman had no business interviewing Joe Biden, especially because he's given virtually no other interviews the entire year. Right. And he doesn't know her music. He couldn't name one Cardi B album. And that's all I was saying. It was more me calling out the DNC for this
Candace, you have a new book out. It's called Blackout. Tell us what Cardi B can learn from reading your book.
You know, there's a lot she can learn. Particularly, I take her through the chapter on culture, which I believe is chapter number 10, which just talks about this deterioration of Black culture, and to remind her when people say to me, Candace, you don't understand Black culture, or you're not a part of Black culture. I'm not here to try to be a part of this culture. Black culture that I recognize is the Black culture that I was raised on, my grandfather's day, the 1950s and 1960s, music like the Temptations, like Diana Ross, music that was about music, about hope, and about family. What we have seen happen over time is that the more that government grew, Black values were compromised. And what we see today is really a result of democratic principles, of democratic policies, and of democratic practices over the last 4 decades that have disintegrated our community and removed fathers from the home, removed structure, removed responsibility. And what we're seeing today is a Black community that has been infantilized by various movements like Black Lives Matter, which are encouraging Black Americans to act like toddlers, knowing that they'll never aspire to great things in their future. So my book in a nutshell is a waking up Black America to what I believe is a modernized, updated plantation, much like the plantations that the Democrats ran in the South back when we were slaves.
All right, Candace, we're going to leave it there. The book is called Blackout. We're going to reach out to Cardi B and offer her an opportunity to come on the show as well. I tell you what, I'm not holding my breath, though. Not going to hold my breath. Candace Owens, everyone, thank you so much.